Welcome to Day in the Office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide. Yeah, I really mucked that up. Welcome to my humble little office. This is a Day in the Office, February 3rd, 2026, at approximately 3:25 p.m. PST. Now, as per usual, I really don't have a plan for what I'm doing because what I do here is literally just reorganize and just get stuff in the office done. I've got a lot of work to do to put an empire together. And quite frankly, it's been your guys' help that has brought me a long way along it. Now, to start with, I do build myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I use here are the same ones I talk about with other people to get you back on track. So much is going on. I got thinking about it, and so much is going on in this world that people focus on the negative side of that I find I look at it going, this doesn't work for me. Now let me just check something here. Don't require all that sits there. So what do we got? I'm just looking to see what our count is. Because that part, I do find it fascinating. I don't consider myself that exciting of an individual. Yeah, I really don't. Let's see what we got. There we are, and we are sitting stable at 720. But again, this is just literally I putter around here, and when you show up, if you've got questions, I absolutely will turn around and answer them for you. Operation, how you doing? You are actually in with the gold. I've come to the conclusion that what I do here is I literally organize things so I get my own work done. What is that? Paper that I don't require, that's garbage. So, what am I like? Right now, it literally boils down to taking a look at things and going, okay, what do I require? Well, needless to say, what's that? Okay. Where did over there? Now, the one thing I keep looking at is there are so many companies I deal with, okay, that you sort of have to, I find you almost have to do their job, but know their job better than they do. Because so many of them, government included, they're supposed to do something and they don't, and you have to kind of chase them to catch up with them. But boy, do you get in trouble if you don't do it the way they want. So I just came to the conclusion we're building our own rules. Okay. So that's all scrap over there. And so hopefully things are going well for you, Operation. Now, let's see. I do have to get this out of the way. Let's double check and make sure we got it. That requires going in here. 903. Let's see. Here we are. Okay. 903. That's that one. 905. That one. Then we have 130, 131, and 201. So 130, 131, 201, and 202. And now we just double check the back of them. Because again, these I didn't actually get around to shredding everything I needed to yesterday. But, well, now we got one that we can still use. So, that one we scratch off, it goes on the stack. And that's just on the stack of scrap paper that I still work with. Now let's see here. Go back to that. I agree with you wholeheartedly there, Operation. I certainly believe that 2026 is going to be a much better year. I know ours here is shaping up quite nicely. Now we just have to make sure we stay on top of it. And one of the biggest things I look at there is the reason it's going to be better is because I'm just frankly not letting it not be better. I figure I've had enough of a rough run. It's about time that I change things and make certain they work right. Now, where are we here? Bunch of little odds and ends. Uh-oh. We go there. Now, a curiosity operation, do you actually yourself have any plans that you're looking at for 2026? Those I have to work on. This here worked out. That's good. Let's see. Now, I know for me, I've got a whole lot laid out. Gotta look at that. Because the reality is, if we don't change the way we're doing things, it's going, if you don't change the way your life is going, your life will stay the same. It's not somebody else that's going to change it for you. I mean, circumstances can certainly change. In my case, I just came to the conclusion I wasn't waiting for it. So, what have we got here? Well, look at that. I'm going to have to take a look at those afterwards. So, my list of things I've got to do at this point sits right there. I'm really happy about that operation. The neat part about it, just something to keep in mind. Okay, when you start talking about building an empire, understand an empire can be as small as your own house. In all fairness, it can be as small as your own bedroom. Okay. In my case, I'm not settling for that. Although I have no interest in controlling anybody's way of life, just simply offering options on how to make things happen. Let's see. Yeah, it has to be, to be frank, you've got to start, even an empire has to start with one room, which is why my office was my target to start with. Let's see. Check the articles on the table. I'm literally looking at things here and going, okay, what am I willing to settle for? And frankly, I'm not willing to settle for much. Most of my life I have settled for what I was doing. And now I'm just looking at it going, that's not working for me anymore. So I took a look at it and went, okay, we get the office sorted around, make sure we've got plans in place properly. Where are we? Oh, there you go. Now that, honestly, operation, that is the best way to start things up. If you're moving in with her and she's taking a room, and said, all yours. This is fantastic. Okay. The reality is, this tells you you've got somebody that really desires things to work. Okay. And, I wish you all the best with it. Lord knows if things are a lot different, once you turn around, once you get a place to start, you've got your footing down. For me, it was a real simple issue of going, this is what I'm up to. I'm building this. Now, of course, with my wife, I brought her up here. Okay. But she's still trying to figure out how to accept the fact that I'm really not interested in controlling even her life. Okay. Don't mind me, I'm not actually ignoring people by turning away, but my bed is behind me. And that also happens to be my table, if you will. It's either that, or I have to move everything around. I have to move everything around so that I can actually see what I'm up to. Now, that should be IV corporate structure. I don't know if you can read that, but that's what that says. Understand, the way the laws are, I won't be running a corporation because I'm not having a board of directors. I will, however, continue to look for guidance, to look for suggestions from my board of advisors. Because then they just say, this is what we suggest. And I either go, okay, it sounds like a good idea, or I say it doesn't. In either event, nobody can fire me. Now, we have that one. Those sit there for a moment. Because I'm literally looking at things and going, okay, how do we make this work? And everything in my office right now has a definitive place to go. I am missing a clamp. Okay, well, best be getting that. Okay, where am I? Okay. Well, I'm looking. Do not do that. Thank you, huh? There. If we pop that up there, we'll figure out what to do with that afterwards. I'm not entirely certain just yet. But this little piece of clamp is because, much as I paid for the business license at the beginning of the year, the actual physical copy just got here. Now, where is it? I just had it a second ago. Do love when that happens, no. There it is. Now, this part I definitely required. I am just not going to worry about that. Now, I do not have a frame for it that I can use just yet to easily get there. So, we just put a clamp on it. Okay. There we are. Now, son of sorry, balance went. And that could have been a disaster. There we go. That could have been a very heavy-duty disaster. My balance is not something that I desire to write home and write nice things home about. And what is this? Okay. What do we got? Okay. First and foremost, always take a look at what you're aiming for. In this case, that also means making sure I've got 2026 files in place. Okay. For me, that's actually relatively simple. Although I am still working on minimal room to run. There we are. Take that off so I can see. And require that. And again, even if you're going to run a business, make certain all your paperwork is in order if at all possible. I'm not great at it. Okay, I'm sort of figuring it out as I go along. Because this year I decided I was really going to make absolutely certain that I got everything running in the right order. So, what is... there are times when I really wonder what I'm up to. Okay. Oh, jumping Jiminy. If my brain wasn't attacked, I'd be in serious trouble. Really is in trouble. I just made I didn't realize I already had one of those. So, that one can go over there. Because I already had a 2026. And the less extra files you have, honestly, as long as they're clearly separated, it works really well for you. Now, what do I got there? What the heck is that? Okay. I do not know what that means. Because what I'm looking at here, what is this? Okay. Oh. Okay. Buy me a coffee. Okay. That's what we don't have to log in. We can just cancel that. What? There we go. My computer was trying to do two things at the same time on the same screen. Not a good idea. I am curious whether or not I'm actually even running right now. Ah, Good. That closed that down. We're just waiting for it to register. That's a good thing. No, I had two windows open and on the same site and didn't really require them. Okay. And there we have everything I require at this point. This is a good thing. That can be closed. Okay, we're back on track. Now, okay, that was fun. And what is this? I believe this is probably junk. Oh, yeah. That's not going to happen. I think that's two of the same thing. Again, one of the biggest tricks, and remember, when we're talking about running an office, we're not just talking about running only a business. Running your house is the same idea. That's cute. That is funnier than heck. So I will have to look into that and find out what it actually means. Does it have a contact number there? I would call it, okay, there we go. I don't even know where that is. Oh, I wonder if that's because I've got two. And I got that same warning up here that says more than one ingestion is using the primary URL. Send the stream to the primary ingestion URL and one stream to Lord knows what. Ferret, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I'm having trouble with video feed, so I'm hoping it's working. Because I cannot tell. The sad part is I may end up in here. So if you guys can hear me, let me know. Because I got a screen out here that's saying it's error. Which is absolutely insane from my end because it's still working. But those I have to contact later. So I'll contact them tomorrow. The reality is I got mail here from a life insurance company, but I got two copies of the same thing and have no idea what they want me to do with it. So just making a point of what I have to do to stay on top of things. So we put that there, and these get slipped down under this one. Keep the envelope for a moment. The extra envelope I don't require. It can go over there. Oh, perfect. I don't even know if I know how, but I'll see what I can do. Let me see here. Oop, hang on. What do I do here? Sadly, Ferret, I don't even know how to get a picture to you, much less take one. But if you can hear me fine, then apparently it's working. I just don't understand. This is me in tech. Where are we here? What's that? Oh, yeah, I know how to do that. It's getting it from my phone to the computer that I don't know how to do. Kitty Cat, how we doing? Glad you could join us. Oh, and now the warning is gone again. This is the weird part. Now I get the warning and then it goes away. This is why I get confused. That and the fact of tech. Okay, and we seem to be back, but we'll find out. My apologies. I will certainly have to let Storm know. We've got one in the chat room right now. What I don't know is who. Oh, there's number two. Ozzy, how you doing? Well, you know, we're having tech problems like you wouldn't believe today, and I don't know who all is back here. You know, the reality is I'm glad you're here. But me and tech have always had a complication. This is why Storm's job is so difficult. You know, we are making headway, you know, as far as what I set out to do. But tech decided it was going to play havoc. So right now, we had six in the room, and all of a sudden we dumped and came, you know, and I don't even know how this is going to record. Okay, you know, from my standpoint, it's just gone completely sideways. But I can't do much with it, so I'm not going to. Now, intriguing. That all stays put. Okay, so in any event, boy, did that ever throw me for a loop. We are at 3:57 p.m. You know, so I am going to carry on working with this and see what happens. But I've made more miscalculations today than I care to count. But no, in fairness, that's because tech decided it was going to do a screw thing. So that's got to go there. And hopefully the rest come back. So ultimately we had a bit of a hiccup. And now we're just trying to pick up the pieces. In the meantime, I've got a list of things I've got to deal with. Now, find out what that's for. This, on the other hand, got that. Okay, now, yeah, nothing like throwing me completely for a loop. We'll see how this one works. This one is likely to be a botch job, but I'm going to stick with it because of the fact I literally come in here to build, to get things organized and to actually take the time out for my own in my own office. Once that gets done, now is the other one up and running? Okay, tonight is Tuesday. It's really intriguing. I was actually out for lunch with my wife, and we got into a discussion on just how to move forward. And the way we were talking and that we were discussing things, it got really interesting. Okay, and then it dawned on me, like I told her, I says tonight. The ironic part is tonight we are literally standing. You can't alter the past. That's just not going to happen. And we have a third person in here, just don't know who at this point. Okay. How you doing? Um, in all fairness, I didn't do much. The signal dropped altogether, so I rebooted it. I rebooted the stream and went, okay, fine. Let's see what happens. But yeah, we're back. I will be dropping this in Storm's lap and let him know. We installed something on the computer to handle excess ads, and that seems to have created a massive problem. Hey, look, we're back up to 5 people. Now, when we started, go all the way up to the top. Operation was in with the gold. I haven't seen him pop in yet. Then we had Ferret came in with the silver. That stayed stable. And then we had Kitty Cat came in with the bronze, followed by Camille with honorable mention. Now we go down here and see where we've got. All the way down to the bottom, and we are mobile. It would seem we've got 4 back in the room. Okay, out of the 5 that we had. Although we had somebody pop in and flow in and pop out again. I know this because we ended up with 6 thumbs up. But now what I'm doing, once again, then that's already marked. What I gotta do when I get up front. Yeah, pretty much. Fair's just going, it's a party. And I brought my Coke, the stuff you can that is saying that's legal to use. Of course, the reality is the illegal stuff I gave up decades back. And yeah, I'm absolutely willing to tell people I used to do them. Okay? And that's why I said used to. I haven't touched any drugs aside from things like aspirin and that sort of thing in almost 40 years. I decided I didn't require it. So I haven't bothered. But now I'm looking very strongly into the old methods. Okay, the old methods of healing, the old methods of medicinal process, i.e., herbs and proper diet. Okay, that seems to be working like a charm. Now, I'm no doctor, but I will tell you, if my brain will work better because I'm eating better, this is an ideal setup. Okay, and one of the things that I had to do, okay, now, where are we? This or that, I mean, expansion. I do believe What do we got? Whoop. Don't think I need that. Do I require this? No. This I really don't. So we pull it out of the file and turn it into the extra side of things. For the scrap paper that I can just write on. Kind of necessary if you're planning on not throwing a whole pile of garbage into the landfill. Close that. Oh, look at that. Best be shutting that down. My phone's going to die anyway, so turn it off. Eyeballs. There we are. Okay, now. This is. Now, this is what is called a full resume. Okay, and I'm leaving it in my business folder. In my corporate structure because it reminds me just exactly what I've got under my belt. So it's one of these things that if you're going to put a business together, if you're going to get your life running in the right order, and I mean the right order for you, not for me. Okay, it's best to know where you're standing, and that includes whatever. Why did I do that? Okay. That includes whatever skills I've had from before. And again, this is just going through old paperwork that I had to ensure that I actually get things done in the right order and get all of the goals reached that I've laid out for me. This isn't about what other people are looking for. Now, that I require that. There we are. Some of this is notes that I had to have. Oh, yes. Now I know what this is. Oddly enough, that is a floor plan for the building if, when I've got the money. And it does boil down to building an empire big enough to want to be able to afford it. I don't know for certain whether I'll be able to, but I do know I'm going to do my best. Hey, I wonder, did that do what I thought it did? 5, 6, 4. Okay, so there's 2, 3. All the different products and what have you I was looking at. I mean, policies. See, this is what I mean. Well, that was bad. Well, guess we'll do that backwards. We get it straightened out afterwards, as in do it again. But for the moment, at least I've got it in here. Now, what is this? That actually got me there. Now, this one, yeah. I'm looking at. Tell you, I've got stuff here that just doesn't add up. Why? I don't know. If I seem a little lost, it's because my day went really sideways on the air here. Since I don't know what this all is, I'm going to pop it all in just so I can get it cleared out of the way. And this way I can make certain I don't lose what I have to have. Nope. Don't require any of that. That's really badly outdated. So it can go over there. You know, I do appreciate people popping in. Like I said, this is literally me trying to get things organized. Now, what was this? See, here's the neat thing. That is that's part of that is being, I think that's done in I think I've got that in soft copy. This this is not working as well as I would like. So we did that backwards too. Tell you today is not going well. You know, from the standpoint of getting things reorganized, I'm having more trouble with tech than I really care to count. You know, this is outdated and can be tossed. That's certainly not being tossed. This here Oh, okay. And again, outdated, don't require it. You know, the reality is when you're resetting, you have to make absolutely certain that you eliminate the big problems. You know, the redundancies and what have you. Well, that's convenient. So let's take a look at that, shall we? Bring up that. Okay. Let us see. We'll deal with this one. What I'm doing is I've got a list here on from ages back, a list of different topics I was looking at doing. Okay. Here we are. Spiritual leaders and guidance. Spiritual leaders and guidance, their responsibility to society. This is a topic I will be dealing with down the road. Okay. Tarot explained. Time travel. UFO ships. These are all different topics I had on a list of things I desired to actually accommodate. Okay. Alien abduction and its purpose. Then we have karmic and societal law. Karmic versus societal law. Okay. There is a list of topics added to what we already have on the go. Because, like I said, it really boils down to making certain I get ahead of the game. Now, I am curious whether I think I'm still broadcasting, but yeah, it looks like I am. Talk about a shambles. So if this is going well, I'm amazed, frankly. What is this? What do we got here? That would be nice. I'm not betting on it. Okay, let's go back, make sure what's wrong. There we are. The stream started off really good. We had things were moving quite nicely, and then all of a sudden they buckled. So where are we here? Okay, got that all organized. That's staying put. That's staying put. and this here. And that can be tossed. So again, not exactly the most functional method today. It's been, to say the least, a bit of a hiccup. We take that. Now I've got that binder, the structure binder, put aside. It can go up there. He's on his way out. And where are we sitting here? I have to go in. Well, I don't technically have to, but I'm going to just on principle. Hopefully this doesn't screw something up. Who's that? Now, okay, we're just going to ignore that and leave that sit. It's not running, so that's not a big problem. Shouldn't be anyway. Yeah, it's been a shambles today, but I am making headway with it. And that has now been clipped, so they can know where it belongs. And file that, and that's it. That's the paperwork I've got to deal with there. So this goes into my filing cabinet. There we are. Yep. That goes up there. And I am curious. You know, things used to run really smoothly, sort of. And now I'm sitting here going, what the heck went sideways? But I guess I'll work with that. Now these can go back where they belong. Tell you, my balance can't be much worse. Today is definitely a bad day for me. I'm going to have to eliminate part of this problem because I can't get anything working right. Like the whole 9 yards has essentially gone sideways on me. Which I don't know what to do with at this point, so I'm just kind of puttering around and getting things restabilized. Okay, that took care of that. Now this can go there out of the way. I tell you, when my life goes sideways, it does so in a real hurry. And I am probably going, it's toss up whether we'll continue running. It's been one heck of a bad night. And since we are down to literally nobody in the room, I do want to say thank you so very much. This is one of those days where I'm just going to do the rational thing. If anybody's still in the room, let me know and I'll stick around. But by the look of it, probably not. No. Okay, guys, I am going to say thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Really appreciate it. I'm going to close tonight early because this is just plain frustrating. And that's no fun for anybody. So, with that in mind, I want to say thank you so very much. I will be back tonight at 8 p.m. PST. Okay, with positive perceptions where we're going to discuss moving forward. Okay, until then, do take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive